Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday. It's presented by Cinematic Visions, and we're back. It's been a while since we've had an edition of Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane. One day down the line, we'll do a Reconcilable Differences, and might explain why we've had a little bit of delay as far as this process is concerned, but that'll be fun, and this will be fun also, as we will visit some things that were inspired by the fact that over the last month, maybe less, I have gotten a brand new laptop computer because my old one would not take a battery charge. And Jane has gotten herself two new things, as a matter of fact, or she had her computer sort of rebooted, as it were, and then now she's got a fancy new iPad also. And we've had some challenges with those. We thought it'd be fun to talk about the fact that in our personal lives and in our business, technology is very important. And as I've said many times to people, technology is wonderful. Pause, when it works. And when it doesn't, it can create a major amount of angst, but we can look back to the days when we didn't even have anywhere near the technology that we have today. So we're going to do all that today, and we do have a little bit of a definite differences that we can talk about in one area. As we were preparing for this, my lovely bride said, I'm not so sure we have differences here in any of this. And I'm like, okay, and then I thought, and I'm like, oh yeah, we do. So you'll find out. Coming up next on Arts and Lifestyle Wednesday, and Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane, right here on the Reasonably Irreverent podcast.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300. We're here with Michael Barber, the CEO and founder of Microlight Corporation of America, the world leaders in laser therapy. And Michael, tell us a little bit about your product.
Our device is using a particular wavelength and power to reduce pain and swelling. My background is surgical lasers, but I've been involved with this particular device now for about the last 20 years, actually.
And I know that it works because I've had it used on me as well. And tell us about the relationship you have with your company and Canaway.
It's what I call a strategic business relationship in that Canaway, the leader in the field of the cannabinoid systems and CBD oil, but our device used in conjunction with Canaway CBD oil gives a better pain relief outcome for the patient.
And if you want to get that pain relief outcome like I did, you can reach their local representative, Sherry McCants, at 515-208-6312. That's 515-208-6312.
Right now, it's more important than ever to support local businesses, and 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence is open and ready to take care of you. Make 23rd Street Brewery part of your KU game day experience, whether you watch the game there or grab curbside pickup for your tailgates or watch parties.
But not just game days, 23rd Street Brewery is great any day of the week, and when the weather's nice, you can take advantage of their heaters on the patio. 23rd Street Brewery is open daily from 11:30 to 9 for dine-in, carry-out, curbside pickup, and can even help with your catering needs.
So support local and visit a Lawrence favorite, 23rd Street Brewery.
Most of us have experienced auto accidents, and it's no fun. And even less fun is trying to work on the insurance aspects afterwards and getting full value after an auto accident. I'm here with David Cowan from WreckExpert.com. And David, you have an unusual and important niche for people after an auto accident.
We have a passion to teach car wreck clients what they deserve. Getting your car repaired only fixes the damage and the paint. Getting paid for your car's loss in value is called diminished value. Chances are you've never heard of this before because most people aren't looking out for you. We help people collect thousands to tens of thousands of dollars for their car's loss in value after the wreck.
And if somebody wants to come to you for that, what's the original assessment cost them?
We offer a free review of any insurance claim to see how we can help.
You can't beat that. Great expertise and assistance in getting full value after an auto accident from David Cowan. Visit recexpert.com and learn more. If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Welcome back, and technology is obviously an incredibly important thing in our world. It basically covers almost all aspects of it. Heck, your stove is technology now, your refrigerator's technology, your car's technology. Just about everything is got some technological aspect to it. But I think maybe the first thing we think about when we think about technology in our world now, I would say has to be the cell phone, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's crazy. I mean, I can't live without it anymore, and it's nuts. I use it. I have a Nest, and I'm always cold or hot, and so it's been a godsend. Doesn't matter where I am in the house. I'm always messing with the temperature in our house and never have to go to the controls on the wall.
What it makes me think of is back probably 15 years ago, maybe, about then I would say, maybe a little bit less, when my daughters were growing into the age when they started to have a phone. You used to have major frustration with how much attention they paid to the phone, and that's certainly come full circle.
Oh, yeah. It's I remember, I'll never forget this. I was at a client's office getting ready to start a meeting, and then all anybody had was a BlackBerry. Remember those big things that looked like a mini computer, and they were really slow and nobody knew what they were doing? No one was looking at anyone. No one looked like they were ready to start the meeting, and I finally said, why don't we all put our phones down and then we'll start this meeting? And now I'm laughing because I'm the one with my head down, and I'm never looking at anybody anymore, ever.
And got to the point where we'd sit down and watch a movie or watch a television show or something like that, and I think you've gotten a little bit better about this, but for a while there, every time a new character would come on, you'd want to find out where the actor was born or who their father was or whether they were married. And I'm like, can we just watch the show? Can we just watch the show?
I'm doing two things at once. It's multitasking even during a movie at home.
That's one of the reasons it's great to go to the movie theater, something we talked about on maybe the last Reconcilable Differences, as a matter of fact. Do you have any memory of when you first got a cell phone?
Wow. I think I do. I think I don't remember the date.
Right.
But I remember when I got my iPhone was the first cell phone I got. And I remember going to have drinks with a younger friend of mine who works for an engineering firm. And I was sitting there going, oh, this is so cool. How did you do this? How do you do that? Because she had just gotten hers not long before. And so we were comparing notes on what this thing was all about. And it was so beautiful.
Was it a flip phone? Was it just one of those one-off type of things?
It was an iPhone. It was one of the early iPhones.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I think that was my first one. I didn't go for BlackBerries at all, and I never did an Android. I jumped right into iPhone.
I think I've always had an Android. I don't really have a great memory of my first cell phone. I think it was one of those silver ones that you sort of, that was oval looking, and I do believe I did have a flip phone at one point. My phones forever and a day until basically I started my own business 2.5 years ago were through my company at Union Broadcasting. So I never had a cell phone bill until recently, but and that's always jarring. For many years I didn't have a car payment. For many years I didn't have a phone bill. When you have those things, it's not so much fun. When you think back to, we're of a certain age. We're not old. We're not super young. We're right there in the middle. But we can remember when you dial the phone, or you'd go to the phone booth, or things like that now seem so archaic and people can't even understand it. And I can still remember just before getting a cell phone, having to do things like get a bunch of quarters because you were arriving at the airport and you had to call somebody to pick you up for a ride and things like that. But the other thing I think about is the fact that How many phone numbers right now do you know?
None.
Well, your
Hardly.
own and mine, probably.
That's about it. That's about it. And you know what's funny? You're talking about this. For years, we had in the basement where we have our elliptical little workout area. I've had a push button phone down there for years when we still had our personal and business line in the house. They're gone. We've gotten rid of them because we now only use our cell phones, which was 10, 15 years ago. I might have said there's no way. And now we're all Wi-Fi'd out.
I think we were probably among, not the last. I think some people still do have landlines because I talk to people for interviews and things like that, and they do. But we hung on to, and you for your business purposes held on to a landline number for quite a long time.
Yeah, it just reached a point where I am so mobile now. I'm doing business in my car. I have meetings all over, and it wasn't worth the process of explaining two numbers to people all the time because I had my cell phone with me at all times. I wasn't always at my landline. So in the end, it doesn't make sense in some ways to have both, unless you're in a larger corporation, obviously.
One thing that obviously has become a big part of the landscape is texting, and I guess I've gotten through the frustration of the fact that many people just really don't want to talk on the phone, period. I mean, they only want to text, and I think the younger they are, the more they only want to text. You can literally text somebody and say, or somebody will actually text you and say, you can call me now, and you'll call them and they won't answer. I mean, it's really gotten to that point, and I think you've gotten to the point where you use voice text quite a bit, which can really create some fun and some problems.
Oh my God. Yeah, I do it a lot when I'm driving, which is not a good thing because I don't always look down and see that it actually took the correct, words and stuff. So I've had some problems with that along the way. Yeah, it's really weird because, our stepdaughters, they love to text. Most of the time we're texting with them. But I just, it's gotten easier to... People are getting better with the conversations, I think, and so sometimes you can feel you're actually having a personal discussion, but I think it's a sad state of affairs. We just, at the pandemic level, it's a great thing that we have all that technology, but on the other hand, we're certainly losing out on actually seeing people breathe in front of us. Wouldn't that be a concept?
I actually, now that I think about it, I do remember one's easier because my mother's home phone, and she's about to move out of the family home, is the same as it was when I was a kid. So I remember that number. And I do still remember my best friend's phone number.
Oh, my God.
I do remember that. I called him so often that it just became unbelievably ingrained. And, he was my best friend when I was young. He's my best friend for the early part of my adulthood. And life happens. And I haven't seen that guy since... for about 15 years now, I think, close to 15 years. The time we went back for my 35th high school anniversary, that was the last time I saw him.
Reunion, right.
Reunion. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so crazy. Well, and it's funny. I mean, iPads have sort of gone out in a way, but the reason I got an iPad now, I haven't ever felt like I really needed it, but I wanted to, have some mobility away from, we still have a TV because you like to watch sports, so we're not completely, over the top and streaming all the time. We do more streaming, and I'm doing more of that. And so it's been really nice to be able to, because we don't have a TV, a large something in the master bedroom. And so it's been nice to have an iPad where I can just jump on Netflix or Amazon Prime and just pull something up with my, earbuds and go.
Through all of my adult life and 2 marriages and stuff like that, I've never thought, I never wanted to have a television in my bedroom. Even when I was single, I had it in my house, so it didn't really matter. But where I slept, I guess I didn't want to have a television. And I've always thought, that seems so strange. Now, sometimes when we're in a hotel room, we'll be on the bed and watch TV, and maybe I'll go to sleep in that regard. But I never thought of it as a good way to finish the day, I guess.
I think, and that's the biggest problem with me now is I have to tell myself, data says you really have to disconnect from your technology in order to find some meditative, quiet, introspective moments. And so I have to really tell myself. And of course, what do? I go to my Calm app now, which is another thing I love to do on my phone or on my iPad and listen to music or, hear a meditation, which is more people are doing, and I think it's really valuable. So that's what's been great about the evolution of the iPhone and iPad. It's not just about meeting business partners, and not just about business. It's turned into, a whole lifestyle sitting there on your phone.
Absolutely, and it seems funny that you could combine the two worlds of technology and meditation or calm app or light music tinkling as to sort of make you relax. It seems like an odd combination, but indeed it works. Well, next up, we're going to turn to the world of the computer. And that can be, it's such a part of our lives. Many of us spend almost all of our working time in front of a computer. And many of us also have lots of our entertainment on a computer as well. So we'll visit with that and a little history there, too, and the differences that we have. Coming up next, right here on Reconcilable Differences with Danny and Jane on the Reasonably Irreverent podcast.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
I'm here with Joe Spiker, owner of Easton Roofing, and boy, we had to negotiate a million things in 2020, but Easton Roofing navigated them all. As 2021 rolls out, what should we expect this coming storm season?
Well, Danny, it'll be the same thing as it is every year. The storms come, and you've got the guys out knocking on doors offering quote-unquote free inspections. Be wary as a homeowner. If somebody's knocking on your door, they probably need the work, and if they need the work that bad, they may be willing to do something untoward to get it. So if somebody knocks on your door, says they want to give you a free inspection, just tell them have a great day and give us a call. We'll come out for free and give you a good, honest opinion as to whether or not you need to do anything at all with your roof.
And what's the best way to get in touch with Easton Roofing?
You can always find us online at eastonroofing.com or give us a call at 913-257-5426.
Easton Roofing, integrity matters. We're here once again with Dr. Brad Woodall from Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Springtime, good weather's finally here. People want to stay active, and it's your job to make sure that they can stay active, and be healthy.
Danny, we see a lot of not just weekend warriors, but people that every day are having that want to get back to activity. Whether you're starting with walking, jogging, or maybe that first 5K of the year, we want to help you out. We specialize in taking care of all ages, from kids all the way to grandmas and grandpas, but absolutely specialize in getting you back to full function and keeping you in great shape.
So in short, how do we go about doing that?
The first thing is to schedule a consultation with one of our doctors and therapists so we can see how you move and how you're supposed to move. Based on our assessment, we can put together a short treatment plan and a set of goals to help you both feel better, function better, and most importantly, stay better for this year and many years to come.
Learn more at asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny. The bitter cold snap in February was just another intense reminder of how important it is to have a quality heating and cooling company on your side. That's why you need to know about my friends at Dillon's Heating and Cooling. Jeff Dillon and his top-quality staff provide honest, affordable, and reliable service all year long. Their number one priority is taking care of the customer and focus on being genuine, always following through and standing behind what they say and do. If you need HVAC or AC repair, it's important you get help from a team of professionals. Dillon's Heating and Cooling's team can walk you through a range of products, the advantages of heating and cooling systems, and ultimately help you find the best HVAC system for you. They're always glad to answer your questions and set up an appointment for an installation consultation. Whether you're looking to upgrade to a newer model of your current system or need one installed in a new home, give my friends at Dillon's Heating and Cooling a call today at 913-214-0529. That's 913-214-0529, or visit dillonsheatingandcooling.com to answer all of your questions. Dillon's Heating and Cooling. Their slogan is their goal, always treating you like family. I'm here with David Schmidt from Private Capital. And David, tell us more about your outstanding firm.
Thanks, Danny. Here at Private Capital, we focus on return on asset. In today's world, it is survival of the fittest. We look at things from all angles and try to figure out what works best for you. The changes we will see this next year on assets will be monumental. The key to success is knowledge. Know where you want to go, and we'll be here along the way. To find out more, give us a call at 816-221-7775.
David Schmidt from Private Capital with the best service for you.
If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome back, and we're going to talk a little bit of computers here on Reconcilable Differences, and I don't really have much of a recollection of my first personal computer or computer in my home. I don't really at all. I remember it being there and the big hulking thing that you would have, and I think my first thing I really did much on the computer was when I was away from work would be to play Tiger Woods golf on it. That was about the thing that I did. Do you have any recollection of when the personal computer came into your world?
Oh, my God.
At home
well,
or in your apartment?
Now, that's a tough one. I can tell you this. One never forgets, I shouldn't say, mid-'80s. Okay. Living in Chicago, singing professionally, but I was also working on the side with Hotel Nico Chicago. And this was when all these early DOS systems were coming in, like Multimate. Does anyone out there remember Multimate as one of your first word processor?
I don't.
We were yelling at each other on what keys were doing what because we didn't have touch screens then. Well, we had the Mac, so we were learning the Mac and the PC. Nobody knew you were supposed to either be Mac or either be PC. So this hotel had both. So I learned both. We were yelling at each other like, what's the F10 key do? And so someone who was, well, it does this. You can try this. And this is how we learned together. And it was so much fun. But I have to say maybe 21 years ago when I started my business is when, I had to have, a full, at that time we were having a desk set up. I didn't have a laptop then, but eventually got one of those. So I've had both for years.
Yeah,
now it's just laptop.
My computer experience obviously was built through work, but I know it that I had to early on had to get a laptop because I traveled a lot and I did a lot of work in that regard. And I guess I've always been known for the fact in my industry, a lot of times with my coworkers, I've always had a pretty large laptop computer. I don't know. I don't mind the fact that it's bigger, and I like the fact that there's a bigger screen and things like that, but I've taken a lot of trouble through the years, and probably the laptop that I just got is the smallest one I've ever had, and it's not all that small, as a matter of fact.
I know. You bundle it in a rucksack and go.
But one thing I still, and I know I'll get over it, but my brand new laptop has the most beautiful screen on it. And just when I open it up each day, all those pictures come up that are just naturally come up on your screen. I don't know what the whatever technology it is that brings them up, but I never really change it. And they're beautiful pictures, and it always says like what you see, and I'm never going to say no, I don't. But for instance, right now there's a beautiful picture of a canal and some European country, and when I open my computer each day, it's a new computer, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like real life. It's so beautiful. And but just like a HD television, when you first get it, you get used to those things pretty darn quick.
Well, and they're always trying to, in the end, they want to keep you on their site, so that's your default. And that's the fun part about this is I think we don't realize how much we're being manipulated when we go on, all the social sites and even on like Google Chrome or, one of the, what am I trying to say?
Yes.
I can't say the
we
name.
know.
That's
know. Search engines.
But they're always trying to sell something. And so you have to be really cognizant of, if you're searching for shoes, you're suddenly going to get shoes everywhere, no matter what. You're having a personal conversation and suddenly a pump you want just pops up, just what you need and your near size and color.
The funniest part is when I will buy a gift for you or my mom or somebody like that, and then I'm getting inundated with ads for things I absolutely don't need, period, never will need. I've done it for this one person and never to do again. And so I constantly, for instance, get ads from Soft Surroundings, which is a site where I bought some clothes for you at times and constantly get Soft Surroundings ads.
Well, you can give me Soft Surroundings anytime.
Well, there you go. I get reminders about Soft Surroundings. So when you started your business, it is so computer reliant. And what happens is, and I only started my business 2.5 years ago, I don't think there's ever any more stress than when, we're very busy business people. Our business, and especially my business even more because I do recordings and everything on my computer, is driven by my computer. And if there's any issue whatsoever as far as loading things on my website and things like that, it's a disaster. I mean, it is a disaster and creates an unbelievable amount of stress. So as much as technology takes stress off our plate, imagine the things that we would have to do from paperwork and everything else that we do on our computer now that I can't even imagine doing 30 years ago. I think about this when I go to the airport and you have to change your flight, or your flight is delayed or whatever, and then they'll try to find and put you on another flight, and they're just clicking around or whatever. They used to just haul out this big-ass book,
right,
with all the routes on it. You just can't even imagine having to do that.
Oh, it's amazing. And the thing that is just kills me is that, okay, so just to share our latest snafu in technology. Sorry, my dog Charlie wants to jump on my lap. Okay, you can be part of the conversation too, Charlie. So I decided I want to get an iPad case. So I ordered it through Amazon, and it was the third one, first of all, that I ordered because the sizes were never exactly correct to the one I had, which is very strange. But then I get the case, I press my iPad into the case, and then I start trying to watch movies and other stuff, and the sound is going in and out and in and out and in and out, and we cannot find the answer to this problem, and they can't tell me what the problem is, and they say, we'll just send you a new case. I'm like, I try to get the iPad out. You try to get the iPad out of the case. We can't get it out. I mean, isn't that the most hilarious thing? And I had to text these people in, I will say, a different country that built this case, and they're like, we'll send you one for free, but they didn't want to tell me how to get the iPad out of the case. So finally they sent it to me, and so you've got the directions, but I'm sorry, I can't figure it out.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. We're going to do that in the next day or two, and I can't remember what exactly it was, but that you forwarded me the email, and the closing is some pleasantry, but because the person is from China or India, or I don't know what country it is, it said something like, love and hope this works, or not even like that. It was a completely convoluted closing.
Maybe with you. Something about may be with you, or something like, yes, something will be with you.
The force
the case is going to be back with you, that's for sure.
The force may not be with me, but I'm going to talk about recording devices for a little bit in a second, but there is one major difference in it that is funny for us as far as computers are concerned. Whenever I perhaps ask for some assistance in something I don't understand, or vice versa, you do that and you want me to do something with a document or download something or whatever, you'll get on my computer, and my computer is just all wrong. I mean, because it's different and because my way of operating and doing things is different, you think it's bad every time.
It's true. You have no system. And computers and laptops and the way they're set up is a really, really easy, like word processing, document, Outlook system, and you don't really quite follow the rules. And so it's almost impossible to understand what your system is. But that's kind of, I look at it like it's an analogy. Your laptop looks the same as your closet.
Well, my closet is, I always say this, some of the things that you think are, complete disarray, for a guy, I'm pretty neat. but I don't think...
I'm still working on that.
A big part of my world also is recording devices, and in preparing for this and getting the social media and such, I was looking back at some old recording devices, and portable cassette was a big part of my world for a long time. It was a handheld portable cassette, and you do that. And I really remember one time I was at an NCAA tournament site. It was in maybe the late 90s, and it was the late 90s for sure. And I got a freelance assignment through somebody called me up, and just to feed some sound from that NCAA tournament site to Bloomberg. And it was really a nice gig. It was $300 for very little work. And, that's a pretty good deal in my world. But the thing is, I had to send that sound in real time it was like 37 minutes worth of sound. I had to send it down like a little, I had to clip it onto a phone and send it in real time, 37 minutes. And I still remember the absolute joy and wonder when you could just send a file, a sound file. I couldn't understand the technology in my brain that this one little click and you could send 43 minutes of sound to somebody else and it would just show up on their computer and there it was. And, those type of things, those type of steps, I always make an analogy to football, too. All these football coaches say they have to work 24/7, and now they have technology that should cut their workload by like 80%, but they won't let it. They'll just create more work. But some of the things that we take for granted now are so remarkable as far as technology is concerned.
And you bring that up. I suddenly thought it was amazing in my professional opera career. We had to have a way to do recordings. Sometimes you were putting tapes together for an audition, and other times we were doing it just for rehearsal tapes. Only not that long ago, 20 years ago, I was still using this fabulous Sony professional teeny recorder, which is, about 8x5 or 8x4 or something. And we took that everywhere, and it was the it thing, and you had to, you would hook a microphone to it, a professional microphone, and you were in. Now, all we have to use is our phone. And all I use is my phone. I take my phone everywhere and do recordings. And sometimes I'm sending off, I'm still singing, and sometimes I'm sending off recorded concerts or songs that we've done with Ellen out just through my phone. It's amazing. And the quality of the sound is probably better than that Sony professional recorder was 20 years ago.
I will say that in my world, I still prefer to use a microphone and not an internal microphone. I think that the quality is better and there's less extraneous sound, but that's an inside baseball conversation that we don't need to have here. But in conclusion, we are looking forward to the time when we can travel again. And sometimes when you travel, you'll be somewhere where there's precious little technology. You can't use it. There is no cell phone signal. There is no Wi-Fi. It can be Wi-Fi you can get almost everywhere now. But those few times over the last few years where you just can't, it's kind of refreshing. And you kind of realize, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have a cell phone signal. I don't have Wi-Fi. I guess I'm going to have to do something else.
Well, and those new tiny home hotels that are cropping up, I don't know if you read about that. The whole point of them is they're off the beaten path where you cannot get a signal deliberately. So people are definitely trying to disconnect. Let's do that soon.
Let's do that soon. Pull the plug, at least for a few days.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like
Cinematic Visions, an affordable and award-winning solution for professional media production since 2003.